Howdy, friends and film lovers out there. We're going to have some fun tonight because we're going to watch Red Ryder. I love these Red Ryder films. And who are we going to have? Is it going to be Don Red Barry, Wild Bill Elliott with his guns backwards? I like that too. Alan Rocky Lane? No, it's not going to be any of them because Republic Pictures lost the rights to make the Red Ryder movies, and it fell into the hands of a Poverty Row production company called Eagle Lion. They tapped Jim Bannon, 6'2" tall leading man, to be the Fighting Redhead. And that's the name of our film tonight. And what is interesting about this, besides it being newly cast, is that it's in color. Who would have thought that a little B movie company, a Poverty Row company, would make color movies? Well, they did. It's an interesting two-color process that I think is very pleasing to the eyes. Now, Jim Bannon had started as a sportscaster. He had a wonderful radio voice and was in radio dramas. In fact, that's where he met his wife-to-be, Bea Benaderet. That's right, from Petticoat Junction. They got married, and their son was actor Jack Bannon, who co-starred with Ed Asner and Robert Walden on the hit series Lou Grant. He told me that after Red Ryder, his father started to play villains, and he really thought that was the wrong decision. Well, sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you play a villain, like Clayton Moore ended up doing when he lost his mask, and John Hart, who took Clayton's place in the Lone Ranger show and plays a villain in The Fighting Redhead. How unusual and ironic is that? Also in this film, because Eagle Lion wanted to make it look like it was a Republic film, Peggy Stewart, one of the top leading ladies of that studio, is the damsel in distress. Jim Bannon portrayed Red Ryder in features 4 times. This is his 3rd one. After this, in 1951, he made a pilot, a half-hour pilot for a Red Ryder series, and that one, Duchess, was played by Olive Carey, Harry Carey's wife. You probably know her most from her role in The Searchers. She had been in silent films with her husband Harry and their son Dobie. He made a lot of films with Duke and John Ford, and a lot more with Andy McLaughlin. He's not in this, though, but his mom is. In the half-hour pilot, you'll see Lyle Talbot, Earl Hodkins, and other very, very recognizable faces of Westerns. It's too bad this didn't make it as a series. It's the first of 2 pilots that were made for the character. The second one, of course, was with Alan Rocky Lane. We have that up on our site. Why don't you watch that so you'll be able to compare that pilot with this one with Jim Bannon. It's too bad neither one of them made it because it would have been a fun addition to the 1950s TV Westerns. So let's watch our double bill right now.
Get on your feet and keep your hands where I can see them. I'm taking you with the sheriff, mister, and he's a cold hand to the rustler.
I'm not a rustler. I've got a kid to feed and no money to buy food.
Wait a minute. After what I just saw, you want me to believe that?
Well, it's the gospel truth. I've ridden all up and down this valley looking for work, but nobody wants to hire a stranger, especially one with a kid in tow. They all shy away from that extra mouth to feed.
Yeah, I guess they do. They got good reason to. Last year's drought just about knocked every rancher in this valley out of business. So now they're fighting for every nickel and dime. Where is this kid of yours?
We found an abandoned lion shack. It gives us enough shelter for sleeping. But if we don't get food soon, we won't need no shelter at all.
You take me there, and if you're telling the truth, I may be able to help you.
Mary, I want you to meet Red Ryder. Red, this is my daughter, Mary.
Glad to meet you, sir.
This is a mighty fine girl you got here, Joe. How old are you, honey?
I'm 6, but I'm almost 7.
Good girl. You get your stuff together and take Mary on over to Painted Valley. When you get there, tell Sam, the cook, that I said for him to set you up in the bunkhouse and feed you. I'll go ahead and finish checking these fences. I'll be over there a little later and talk about a job for you then.
Thanks a million, Red. You'll never regret it.
I got a hunch you might be right. See you after a while.
Out. Hi, Red.
Hi, Duchess, what brings you out here?
One of the boys told me he saw you headed for the West Range. Something wrong there?
No, I thought I spotted something, but I was wrong.
You can't be too careful now, Red. Just before roundup times when the rustlers operate.
He's right, Red. That reminds me of the time when Wild Bill Hickok and me was riding...
Hey, we heard that, Buckskin.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll swear. Oh, say, did I tell you about the time there was...
Buckskin.
Yes, ma'am.
Every day you get to be a bigger blabbermouth, banjo-headed booby.
Duchess, you know that is the nicest thing that you said to me all day.
Red Ryder, your shirt being plenty dirty. You fall him off horse?
Why, you know better than that, little beaver. I guess I just brushed up against something.
Or someone.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's stop this cross-examination.
Why, Red, you act as if you've been doing something wrong. What's troubling you?
Well, I've been thinking. Here lately, we've all been working pretty hard.
That's right, Red.
Why, you bearded baboon, you don't know the meaning of the word work.
Every time Buckskin opened his mouth, any duck could put her foot in.
See, that's just what I mean. Everybody's getting jangled nerves. And with Roundup coming on in a couple of weeks, I thought maybe a few days fishing might do us all some good.
I ain't got no time for no vacation. I got... Did you say fishing?
I sure did.
That's different. Let's all head home. We'll get some supper, and then we'll all pack and get an early start.
You betcha.
Good idea.
Just follow my lead. I'll do the talking.
What if old man O'Connor starts acting up again, Farrell?
Listen, Goldie, I said just follow my lead. Come on.
Hello, Dan. Mind if we come in?
What do you want this time, Savage?
Well, I'll be brief and to the point. None of us ranchers have any use for these nesters coming in and fencing off our range. We just got to get rid of them.
You call yourself a rancher, Farrell?
Sure, I own a saloon, but I also run a ranch. Mighty big one at that.
What you're planning on doing to those poor homesteaders don't sound like any rancher I know.
Now, look. If in a few months those nesters haven't proved up their claims, the government says they've got to move out.
The range goes back to us cattlemen.
Savage, if you think for 1 minute I'm going to help you rustle their stock so they won't have money enough to finish their buildings.
Who said anything about rustling? All we want you to do is help us tear down their fences so their cattle will wander off.
Wander off. Wander off where you can get your hands on them.
What are you hinting at?
I ain't hinting. I'm telling. And I'm also saying for you to get out of here and stay out.
Yeah, who's going to put me out?
I thought I heard my father tell you to get out. Are you leaving now, Mr. Savage, or do you need some convincing?
Now, put that gun down, miss. It's liable to go off.
Next time, it'll be a little lower. Now get!
You're acting mighty silly about this. Maybe by the time the nesters start putting up fences in your front yard, you'll know I was right.
Confound it, Sheila. When are you going to start acting like a lady?
And why didn't you raise me like one instead of like a boy?
None of that blarney now.
If you call this Barney, what do you call that story Savage was giving you about the homesteaders? Oh, Pops, he's never been on the level in his life.
I wish I could prove that.
Prove it. After the proposition he made you rustling the cattle?
All he talked about was tearing down fences. Once the fences are down, he'd probably steal the cattle, too. Oh, if there was only someone who could stand up to Pharaoh and...
All right, Pops. Out with it.
I've got it, Sheila. I know just the two-fisted, red-headed galoot to do the job.
Now, hold on, Dad. We O'Connors aren't used to calling for help. We've always fought our own battles.
You, my daughter, are to do no more fighting. I've told you before, you are to act like a lady. So go and hitch up the buckboard. I'm driving to the telegraph office in Indian Springs to send Red Ryder a telegram.
But, Dad... Act like a lady, but hitch up the buckboard. You can't win.
Yeah. Boy, I feel as fit as a fiddle. Well, you folks excuse me. Buckskin. What?
Where do you think you're going?
Well, I'm just going out to the barn to check up on Sister Bill. See, he was complaining about a toothache this afternoon.
You step one step closer to that door and you're going to be picking pieces of this picture out of your skull for the next 6 months.
Duchess, I never remember you getting so riled about such a little thing.
Well, a lot of little things add up to big things, Red. Every night, just about dishwashing time, this beetle-brained buffalo ducks out of here with some excuse to get out of work. I'll admit it's the first time he ever dragged his horse into it.
That's not fair, Duchess. After all, Buckskin's not as young as he used to be.
He never was young. He was born just as old as he is today, beard and all. He's just had more experience being lazy.
Why, help boost the horseshoes, Duchess. You wouldn't complain about a man taking care of his best friend, his horse, would you?
Best friend, don't let him hear you calling him that. He'll resent it.
You go on out, old-timer. Little Beaver and I'll help the Duchess, won't we, son?
Hey.
It's being mighty close to my bedtime, Red Ryder.
You see what I mean, Red? Buckskin's getting to be a bad influence on the boy.
You're getting me all wrong, Annie Duchess. Me helping you with dish, you betcha. They want to see him a little early came in this afternoon.
Let him go, too, Duchess. We can manage by ourselves.
Thank me, Red Ryder.
That reminds me, Red. Who is that new hand you put on today? I never saw him before. Is he a friend of yours?
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. He'd have to be a mighty good friend of mine for me to put him on with an extra mouth to feed.
Well, it was such a little mouth, I didn't think you'd mind.
I really don't, but you know me, I gotta find something to get salty about or I ain't happy.
Here's a telegram for you, Red.
Well, don't just sit there admiring the envelope. Open it. Let's see who it's from.
Uh-oh. It's from Dan O'Connor over in Indian Springs. He's expecting trouble over there, maybe even a range war.
You ain't going there, are you, Red? That'll put the kibosh on our fishing trail.
Duchess, a friend in trouble, especially one like Dan O'Connor, has got to come before any fishing trip. Buckskin, get a hold of getting our gear together for that trip tomorrow.
Oh, I already got Beaver out fixing that. I reckon I'll go right out and help him.
Hey, hold on. How'd you know what was in this telegram?
Well, I didn't know what was in the Red. I just thought maybe somebody was in trouble and then we'd have to ride out tomorrow.
Pretty smart, ain't you? Well, when you get through with that job, you're coming in here and doing the dishes.
Oh, no, I ain't.
Oh, yes, you are.
Oh, yes, I am.
I told you last night, Duchess, I won't let this affect our fishing trip any. Give us a couple of days over at Indian Springs, and then you come over and meet us at Dan O'Connor's place. From there, we'll head up to Witchcraft Mountain. Boy, they tell me you got to fight the trout off in the streams up there.
Heck, Red, I ain't worried none about the fishing trip. I just hate to see you three riding off.
Don't you worry none about him, Duchess. I'll take good care of Red.
And who'll take care of you?
Me do him that, Annie Duchess. Don't you worry him none.
Joe, you and Mary help the Duchess all you can. After she leaves, make yourselves useful around the place.
We'll do that, Red.
Well, have a good trip, boys. See you soon.
Okay, come on, compadres, let's ride.
There they are, boys.
Bill Evans will be mighty unhappy when he finds them gone.
That's a shame. Work as quickly as you can. Round them up and ride them off. I'll cover you from the hill. If Evans sticks his nose into this, it'll be just too bad.
Let's go, boys.
Dad, what's wrong? I thought you went in town to meet Red Ryder.
Just look behind me and you'll see what's wrong. It's Bill Evans. He was gunned down by a bunch of cattle-stealing varmints.
Bill Evans. Oh, how awful. Did you get a chance to see who did it?
No, darn it, I didn't. I just got a quick glimpse at one of them who was gloating over poor Bill's body. But I did find something that gives me a pretty good idea as to who did this.
Oh, who would want to rustle that scrawny stock of Bill Evans?
There's only one man in this whole basin would be low enough to do a thing like that. And I've got the evidence to prove it. Unless I'm greatly mistaken, that gun belongs to Pharaoh Savage. Honey, you take Bill's body home to his wife and break it to her easy.
Oh, sure I will, Dad, but what are you going to do?
I'm taking your horse and heading for town to meet Red Ryder. Then I'm taking this gun over to the sheriff. You see, he has ways of handling mavericks like Savage.
Oh, Dad. Be careful, huh?
Sure I will. I'm taking the shortcut to try and make up for the time I lost. The chances are that Red is waiting for me in town right now.
Hey, this is funny. I was sure that telegram said to meet him in front of the saloon.
Hey, do you reckon there's another saloon in town?
You gents must be strangers around here. It's the only saloon we got in town. If you're looking for somebody, maybe I can help you. Yeah, maybe you can. We're looking for Dan O'Connor. You look like a pretty smart fella. What would you be wanting with an old busybody like O'Connor?
Why, pistol's a pot shot, you silly galoot. Dan O'Connor's a friend of ours. And another...
Hold it, Buckskin. Look, mister, we didn't ask for your opinion of Dan O'Connor. We just want to know where we can find him. Maybe sometime later we can compare notes. For now, you're going to answer my question or not? I haven't seen O'Connor around all day. Probably find him out at his spread. Take the left fork when you get to the end of town. Thanks. Oh, by the way, Redhead, I'll be looking forward to comparing notes with you someday real soon. Yeah, make it real soon, because the pleasure's going to be all mine. Did you find it?
Nope.
Better tell Farrell.
Did you find the gun? Nah. The only thing I found was wheel tracks, and they point right to Dan O'Connor's spread.
Say, that reminds me, while I was standing outside, a red-headed galoot rode up. Had an old man and an Indian kid with him. He was asking about O'Connor.
A red-headed cowboy with an Indian kid. Was this cowboy wearing bat-wing chaps with an R on him?
Come to think of it, he was. Why, do you know him?
Know him? Sure I know him. His name is Red Ryder. He and I have had dealings before. Well, if he's a friend of yours, what would he be wanting with O'Connor? I didn't say he was a friend of mine. As a matter of fact, if he gets together with O'Connor, we're going to have our hands full.
What do you want us to do?
Well, you and Goldie try to beat Ryder to O'Connor's. If you do, bring O'Connor back to me. What if Ryder gets there first? Well, let me know. I'll have to change our plans.
You leave it to us, Farrell.
Hey, Wendy. Look who's coming down the street.
This is a break. He must have taken a shortcut and missed Ryder. Keep me covered. I'm going to get him. Howdy, O'Connor.
What do you want?
That ain't a friendly way to greet someone who wants to do you a favor?
Do me a bigger favor, will you? And get out of my sight.
That's how you feel? But what do you want me to tell your friend, Red Ryder?
Ryder? Where is he? He was supposed to meet me here in town.
That's what I wanted to tell you. Ryder and Savage are old friends. They're at the saloon now talking about old times.
You're crazy. Ryder wouldn't have anything in common with a man like Savage.
That's where you're wrong. You probably don't know that Savage used to be a lawman. Don't take my word for it. Just go over and see for yourself.
All right. But if you're up to any shenanigans, I'll be ready for you. Ryder or Savage. Are you sure this isn't a frame-up?
Well, they were here a minute ago. Go over to the office. It was probably too noisy in here for them to talk.
Hello inside. Dan O'Connor.
Don't look like the reception committee made it.
This is no time for jokes, Buckskin. I just hope we're not too late. You go around back and see if anybody's there. Little Beaver and I'll look inside the house.
Right, Red.
All right, mister. Reach.
Well, howdy, miss. Is Dan around?
Who wants to know?
I'm Red Ryder. This is my ward, Little Beaver. Dan sent a message he wanted to see me.
So you're Red Ryder. Dad certainly made a poor choice when he sent for you to help him. First crack out of the box, you let a girl get the drop on you.
Yeah, that's right, ma'am. Only you see, Red always keeps his flank pretty well covered. Would you mind putting that gun up?
Seems to me you're not too happy to see us, Miss Sheila. I figure that's who you must be. Dan Dutchman from the reception, I'd say, is dead right. You said you're quite a spitfire.
You're also right, Mr. Ryder, on both counts. I'm not too happy to see you, and I am Sheila O'Connor. We O'Connors I'd used to calling for help.
Well, war hoops to wahoo, Red. If we ain't wanted here, let's get on with that fishing trip.
Hold it now, Buckskin. If Dan sent for us, he must have a pretty good idea what he wants us to do. So, whether Miss O'Connor likes it or not, we'll wait for Dan to get back. Let's go loosen those cinches and make ourselves comfortable.
Right, Red. Oh, hey, you know something, Red? I kind of miss the Duchess.
Why, Buckskin?
Yeah. I ain't had nobody to pick on me all day.
Well, young lady, where do you think you're going?
I'm going with you.
You are?
Yes, I want to see Little Beaver.
Well, I'd like to take you with me, but I figured you'd stay here and be the lady of the house.
I'd rather see Little Beaver.
Well, honey, you can't go away and leave your daddy alone without a woman to help him. You know how men are.
Yes, I know.
Well, and besides, you'll see plenty of Little Beaver when he gets back.
Well, all right.
All right, you take your little things in the house, honey. I'll see you soon.
What are you doing back in town so soon? You couldn't have gotten the information from O'Connor already. Something go wrong?
I'll say it did. We took him out to your ranch from here and tried to make him talk. He didn't have the gun on him. So we figured if we worked him over, he might crack and tell us where it is.
Well, what went wrong?
He made a break for the window, so Goldie had to plug him.
You clumsy fools. Did anybody see you with him?
I don't think so. We kept to the back road. Nobody passed us.
Well, that's fortunate for you. Where's Goldie?
Hidden out with the body. What do you want us to do?
Well, let me think. I think I've got something. If O'Connor didn't have the gun with him, he may have left it at home with his daughter. I'll go out there and take a look around. While I'm there, we can pull something else. Listen to this.
Red, I'm beginning to get worried about Dad. He could have been to town and back 4 times in the length of time he's been gone.
You know, I was beginning to wonder about that myself. I don't suppose he's still waiting for us.
No, I don't think so. Look, Red, I've got to tell you what he had planned. Dad stumbled on a murder being committed this morning. A Bill Evans. He owns a small ranch right up the road. And he was killed when he caught a bunch of rustlers trying to steal the few head of cattle that he owned.
Your dad has a pretty good idea who did it, huh?
He's got more than that. He's got the killer's gun, Found it on the ground next to the body.
Yeah, but that could be that feller Evans' gun, couldn't it?
That's right, Sheila, unless you can prove otherwise.
Well, the gun that Dad found had a bone grip. And the gun that Bill always carried, which was also on the ground next to him, Dad gave to him last Christmas.
Yeah, that'd confirm your conclusion, all right. Did Dan have any idea who owned the gun he found?
Yes, that's why I'm worried. He was sure that it belonged to one Pharaoh Savage.
Pharaoh Savage? What's he doing in this part of the country? Oh, he breeds trouble wherever he goes.
I see that you know of him.
Yeah, I know of him. I know him, and well. We used to ride at the Rangers together. That was we did until some of his crooked dealings caught up with him.
Well, anyway, Dad was going to meet you in town, and then the two of you were going to confront Savage with the gun.
You're afraid that when I wasn't there to meet him, he went on to see Savage by himself, huh?
You know Dad, Red. It's where I inherited my stubbornness. He just won't admit that he's not as young as he used to be.
Red Ryder, one horseman coming down the road towards Hal.
That could be Dan now.
That's not Dad. He was riding my white horse.
Yeah, and that horse is a bay. It's not Dan O'Connor riding him. If my eyes don't deceive me, that rider is Pharaoh Savage. Hello, Sheila. See, you're getting less particular about the company you keep.
You just keep talking like that, Savage, and your chin will meet your forehead on the way up.
No, but let's not make Pharaoh feel bad. He might remember a day when his chin did meet his forehead.
That wasn't a fair fight, and you know it.
That's right, Pharaoh, it wasn't. You had a knife, and I didn't.
Let's stop this small talk. I want to see Dan O'Connor.
He wants to see you, too, about a gun.
Oh, is he trying to sell it? I didn't know things were that bad around here.
No, he's not trying to sell it, Pharaoh. But if he were, I got a hunch that you'd pay plenty for it. You see, it killed a man.
Well, that doesn't make it too unusual.
This time it does. Because this gun killed a particular man this morning. A man named Bill Evans.
Bill Evans? The Nestor? Oh, that's a shame.
That isn't the way you talked about the Nestors yesterday.
What's all this got to do with me, anyhow? Why should I be interested in the gun or the death of Evans?
Mainly because Dan O'Connor thinks that you own the gun.
Well, if you show me the gun, I might be able to tell you whether I do or don't.
Dan had it with him when he left here. Well, we've answered your questions, Pharaoh. I think it's about time for you to answer some of ours.
I might.
What do you want with Dan O'Connor?
I came out here to apologize to him for the way I acted yesterday. I realized that my plan to get rid of the Nestors was impractical. Wanted to tell Dan I'd changed my mind.
So you found it simpler to kill them.
Accusations like that are dangerous when you have nothing to back them up.
I hate to admit it, Sheila, but he's right. I suppose you have a rock-bound alibi for about 10 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, I suppose I have. I was in my office with two of my employees.
Employees? You mean cutthroats?
When Dan comes back, tell him I was looking for him.
Red, that's my horse, the one that Dad was riding. He must have had an accident.
Oh, I'm afraid that's more than an accident, Sheila. That's a blood stain on the saddle, and it's pretty fresh.
What do you mean, Red? What happened?
Well, I can't be sure, but I think whoever's riding this horse was shot.
Red, Dad may be lying up at those rocks hurt bad. I'm going up there.
We're all going. You too, Pharaoh. Mount up, Pharaoh. I said you're going with us.
I'm not taking my horse up in those rocks.
I said you are.
I said I'm not, and you can't do much about it.
I think I can.
Don't do anything foolish, Savage.
Now get on that horse and let's ride.
Let's get out of here.
mean, son?
Track showing 3 horses here.
Anything else? Any boot marks?
Them 2 sets of boot marks.
Yeah, what else?
Men be 'em here by these rocks.
Oh, so they could watch us without being seen themselves, huh? Or maybe they were waiting for a signal from you.
You're just guessing. You can't prove a thing.
No, not yet, I can't. But you know, Pharaoh, when I set my mind to something, I usually get it accomplished.
Until you get the proof, and since I haven't done anything wrong, you won't get it. You better let me go. I was a lawman long enough to know my rights.
Yeah, you know your rights, but you better watch your step. Because it's not going to take me any too long to learn your wrongs.
Red, you aren't letting him go.
That's all we can do. We don't have any definite proof we find that gun.
No definite proof. I've told you what my father told me. Isn't my word good enough for you?
Certainly, it's good enough for me, Sheila, but in a court of law, it's your word against Pharaoh Savage's, and the jury needs more than that to convict a man.
You know, a strange thought just occurred to me. When my father told me about you, he said you were two-fisted, that you were the man to make Savage toe the mark.
Now, hold on.
But since you've arrived, my father's disappeared, probably dead or hurt someplace. Pharaoh Savage has all but told you off, and you stand here talking about courts of law?
Now, Sheila, listen to me.
I've listened to you long enough, Mr. Ryder. From now on, I'm taking things into my own hands, and I'll show you what an O'Connor can do, without help.
That's that. Red, now we to go fishing?
Buckskin, I'm going to leave that up to you. Do you want to pull on out of here knowing that Sheila O'Connor is going to try and fight Pharaoh Savage alone? She don't stand a chance against that mob of cutthroats of his. When he's wiped her out, you'll just keep operating against the rest of the respectable folks in this place until he's got control of everything. Well, how about it? Still want to go fishing?
Why, bullets to buckshot, Red. You know I wouldn't do a thing like that. I just never thought of it that way before. And the way the gal was acting, why, I didn't know...
Well, she's real excited, and I can't say as I blame her.
Well, I reckon you're right about that. Well, what's our next move, then?
I want you to follow this trail into town, see if you can pick up any trace of Dan O'Connor. Be extra careful. Look on both sides, because you may find something that'll help us.
Right, Red.
Now, don't drop your guard for a second, Buckskin, because they may be waiting for you. When you get to town, don't do anything foolish. You know, act like you just came in town to buy something, and then come on back out the ranch and meet us there. We'll be waiting for you. I'm going to go try and see that Sheila doesn't do anything foolish. Come on, Beaver. Sheila,
Look, Red, I've decided to do things your way. I was a little upset out there.
Yeah, I know. Why don't you go on back to your room and try and get some rest? Maybe we'll learn something when Buckskin gets here.
But how about Dad? What are we going to do? Just sit around here and wait? Why can't we go look for him?
that's what Buckskin's out there doing now. If he doesn't find out anything, we can come to just one or two conclusions. Either Pharaoh and his gang have got your dad and are holding him prisoner, or...
Or else they've killed him and hid the body. If that's the case, I'm going to get Mr. Savage myself.
Now, look, don't get yourself all excited again. Do like I told you. Go back and try and get some rest. We'll call you when Buckskin gets here.
Relax, you bone-headed booby.
Oh. What have you got here?
That's what remains of Dan O'Connor.
Oh, who did that?
I don't know who done it, but I bet when Red finds out about this, he'll go gunning for Pharaoh Savage.
The Savage is operating in this neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Well, come on, Buckskin. Let's get poor Dan home.
Red Ryder, 2 horses coming down the road.
Maybe Buckskin's found Dan.
That not be Dan O'Connor with Buckskin.
You're right, son. It looks like... By golly, it is the Duchess. Looks like Buckskin's got a body slung across the saddle.
Hello, Red. We found Dan O'Connor.
Where was he?
Off the side of the road. About a quarter mile from town.
Looked like an ambush?
No, we shot at pretty close range and shot in the back at that.
Well, we better get him inside. We'll have to break the news to Sheila.
What have you got there, Red?
I can't figure it out. Say, will you and Little Beaver go rouse Sheila?
Sure. Come on, son.
Oh, that's funny. I found this thing clutched in Dan's hand.
What is it, Red? A note?
No, it's not a note. It's a birthday card. It says to my daughter on her 12th birthday. Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, that is darn funny. Because you know Sheila's a lot older than that. What do you reckon it means?
Doggone if I know, but I'll keep it for future reference.
Sheila isn't in her room.
She's not in her room. Well, where could she have gone?
Red Ryder. Rice will be gone from all.
You know something, Red? I bet she went into town to get Pharaoh Savage.
She probably spotted you through the window when you rode up and ducked out the back way.
What do we do, Red?
You and Little Beaver stay here. Buckskin and I'll go in town and see if we can stop her before it's too late.
Take it the boys have returned with the money.
They sure did, Phil. $900 in cold cash. I thought they'd have got that much for having scrawny stock.
Where is the money?
I got it. But don't you think we'd better go into the office? Yeah, Farrell, let's go in and split it now, huh?
I'd rather not go into the office now. It might appear suspicious to the people in here. After all, you boys don't have the best reputations in town.
What kind of a crack is that, Savage? After all, we're good enough to do your dirty work for you.
Keep your voice down, you fool.
Listen, Savage, I've had enough from you. Now let's get in the office and split that money.
What's your hurry, Goldie? You going somewhere?
You can bet your last pair of boots I'm going somewhere. I'm heading as far from here as I can.
Take it easy, Goldie. You're talking crazy. You can't pull out now.
Oh, can't I? Well, 2 killings is enough for me. If anybody finds Pharaoh's gun and ties it to these killings, you and me's going to be in the same boat with him.
You don't think you're getting enough out of it, eh? Lay off him, Pharaoh. I can talk to him.
Talking ain't going to do no good, Wendy. I'm through with this double-dealing four-flusher. He must have slipped out that way. There he is, on that white horse.
Well, that ain't a man. It's the O'Connor girl. I'd know her horse anyplace. Double-dealing four-flusher, am I?
Don't do it, Pharaoh. Don't do it.
What did you do that for? Shut up. There are people coming. Follow my lead.
What's going on here, Pharaoh?
That O'Connor girl must have gone loco. She was rifling the desk in my office. She held us at gunpoint while she ducked out. Poor Goldie ran out after her and threw some shots at her. She fired back and killed him. That's what happened, Sheriff.
Well, what was she looking for?
I can't imagine. Let's form a posse and get after her.
All right, man. You're all deputized to ride this posse. Let's go.
You stay here and keep an eye on things. Don't you get any crazy ideas or you'll get it too.
Don't you worry about me, Pharaoh. I'm with you.
You'd better be. Let's go, boys. We'll get that gun-crazy filly if we have to ride all night.
this town ought to be buzzing with activity.
Well, shotguns to shenanigans, Red. Do you reckon we're too late?
I don't know. Let these into the saloon and find out. Who is it this time?
My sidekick, Goldie Grant. Shot down by a friend of yours.
A friend of mine?
That's right. Dan O'Connor's brat. Goldie found her searching through Pharaoh's office. She killed him in cold blood. You've got proof of that.
Proof?
Just you wait and see.
Where is she now?
You ought to know that, Ryder. You're working with her.
No, I don't like this whole thing. I've got an idea you're lying to me. Now, are you going to tell me the truth, or do I have to beat it out of you? Where is Sheila O'Connor?
I've told you all I'm going to tell you. Now get out of here and take that flea bag with you.
Flea bag? Why, listen, you want to...
You're a pretty tough customer with old men, aren't you?
Yes, and with young ones, too.
Your question. Where's Sheila O'Connor?
She got away. Pharaoh, the sheriff, and the posse are out after her now.
What direction she headed?
East.
Come on, old-timer. We may not be too late to head them off.
Yeah, you think you're in trouble, huh? Take a look at this. Here, help me off with that bird thing.
I still don't believe that story about Sheila. And I'm sure when you find her, she'll be able to explain.
Well, I certainly hope so, ma'am. I've known her and her dad since she was knee-high to a colt. There ain't much we're going to find out here tonight. I think I'll place home to get some rest. We can pick up the trail in the morning.
But, Sheriff...
I told you before, Pharaoh. I'm leading this posse, and we'll do what I say. I'm awfully sorry about Dan, ma'am. I won't leave a stone unturned till I find his kilt.
Well, they haven't got her yet, old-timer. Let's get back to the ranch and see what happened. The way I see it, Duchess, Sheila's probably hidden out in those rocks tonight. We don't know them any too well, so we'll start at daybreak and hope we get to her before Pharaoh does.
That's a good idea, Red. It's been a long day. Let's turn in.
Right. So the sheriff decided to take the posse out again in the morning. I'll have to go with him.
You want me to go with you?
No, I've got another plan I want you to follow through with. If you think you're in good enough shape, quit writing me about that, will you? I'll get even with Ryder if it's the last thing I do. What's your plan? Well, if anybody can find Sheila, Ryder can. I want you to follow him in the morning. If he locates her,
shoot her, and then hightail it back to town.
Buckskin and I are going up and scout around those rocks. There's no question in my mind that Sheila's hid out up there and got panicky.
Do you think she really killed that man, Red?
Well, it's hard to tell. When a person's excited, they'll do things that are the furthest from their minds. We'll know the answers when we find Sheila. Little Beaver, you stay here at the Duchess, huh?
You bet.
All right, now, men, let's all stay close together today.
Oh, you were going in and find the evidence and face Pharaoh Savage by yourself, huh?
That's right. I was going to gun him down just as he had Dad and Bill Evans.
You know, Sheila, there's a thing that's been puzzling me. We found this birthday card crumpled up in your dad's hand. You make anything of it?
That's odd. Why, this card's for my 12th birthday. I can't figure that out.
Well, I figure there must be some message connected with it. Whole thing's got me stumped.
Stumped birthday card. Gee, why didn't I see that right away?
Why didn't you see what right away?
Well, Dad and I always played a little game on my birthday. He'd find a hiding place for my present, and then he'd draw a little map on my birthday card. I'd follow the map and find out where my present was hidden.
You think he's hid the gun the same place he hid your present on your 12th birthday, huh?
Well, on my 12th birthday, Dad hid my present in the stump of a tree just above the ranch house.
Do you think you can find it?
Think I can find it? I'll take you to it. Let's go. I hope our hunch was right.
Gotta be.
Gee, I don't find anything down here that feels like a gun. It's just moss.
Here, let me try it. Yeah, here it is. Here's a gun. It's got a piece of paper stuffed in the barrel. Let's see what it is. To whom it may concern, this is the gun used by Pharaoh Savage to kill Bill Evans. In the event of my death before this gun gets to the proper authority, let this note be a transcript of my testimony in the court of law. Signed, Daniel O'Connor. Well, I guess that puts the rope around Savage's neck.
Poor old Dan. He was way ahead of everybody.
Yeah, I guess he had an idea they'd try and get him.
Well, let's quit the talking and get in town to see the sheriff.
Not so fast, Miss O'Connor. I'll take that gun. And the note.
You don't think you're going to really get away with this?
Why not? I intend to kill the three of you. After all, the girl's a fugitive from justice and you two are helping her. I don't think there'll be any problem at all.
And what do you think I'll be doing while you're killing him?
I'll take this and this.
Hey, Duchess, remind me never to sass you again. That was some mighty impressive shooting.
And mighty impressive showing up, too. How come you were Johnny on the spot?
Well, things got kind of quiet at the ranch. Too quiet, as a matter of fact. So I thought maybe... As riding over the crest, I spotted this coyote acting clay. So I decided to see what was going on.
Well, not a minute too soon either. Hey, where's Little Beaver?
I left him stashed out up there in the rocks. Well, where to from here?
First, we got to try and get him to tell us who really shot Goldie. Of course, if he tells the truth, the sheriff may go easy on him. But if we have to find it out the hard way, there's no telling how far his neck may stretch.
Well, I suppose I might as well tell you. If I don't, maybe Farrell will give me the same medicine. He killed Goldie, so Miss O'Connor would be blamed for it. That way he was covered in case Dan had talked to her. He planned to ride with the posse at all times so that he could shoot her on sight. He wanted her out of the way.
It's a nice thought. Well, we'll be in town to greet the posse and Pharaoh Savage. I've got a special welcome prepared for him. Come on, let's ride.
Go on in, boys. Get refreshed. First round's on the house. Come on, Sheriff. Let's go back in my office where we can have some good Kentucky bourbon and peas.
That's a good idea, Farrell.
What's the meaning of this?
It was real nice of you to bring the sheriff. That makes our party complete.
This is no time for jokes, Redhead. Young lady, you're under arrest for the murder of Goldie Grant.
Wait a minute, Sheriff. Before you arrest Sheila, I want you to arrest Pharaoh Savage for the murders of Bill Evans, Dan O'Connor, and Goldie Grant.
This is ridiculous. He's just bluffing.
Tell him, Wendy. Do we have the proof?
They've got it all right. They found your gun, the one you killed Evans with. And I've told them about O'Connor and Goldie.
Why, you dirty double...
I don't call it double-crossing. Not when I saw you shoot down Goldie just to serve your purpose. It'd have done the same to me if it suited you.
Heard enough, Sheriff?
I sure have. Pharaoh Savage, I arrest you for the murder.
Come on, Sheriff. Red will take care of him.
Gotta give it another good. There, hit me here. Come on. Wow. Give me another. Go on, take it.
Here he is, Sheriff. It's all yours.
Thanks, Red. You saved me a lot of work. Get going. You too.
Be a good fight, Red Ryder.
It sure was, boy. That's a good one, does it?
Hey, you know, Sheila, I'm sure glad you decided to join us.
That's right, Red. It'll do you good to get away from Indian Springs for a while.
You know, I really shouldn't have left, what with all that work to be done down at the ranch.
Red Ryder, we going fishing now?
You bet we are, son, just as soon as we get our stuff packed on.
We're bringing buckskin.
I don't know. He was here a minute ago.
Here I am.
Where?
Up here. I was practicing a little casting, and I reckon I flung it too high. I got her loose now. I got her now. I'm coming down. Little whip. Oh, what are you laughing at, you vermin, you? Ow. Oh, I got that hook in my... Ow.
This is my country. Or maybe I'd better say ours, because there's plenty of it for all of us. You'll get to know it like I do. The hot summer sun on your back and the cold mountain air on your face. It's rightfully called Painted Valley, and it's peaceful up here on the slopes of the Colorado Rockies, just a little west of the Great Divide. Over there beyond the hill is the ranch I share with some mighty fine cow hands, some mighty fine cattle, and the Duchess. It's good, quiet living. Then, of course, if you get tired of the quiet, there's always the town of Devil's Hole. Maybe not much to look at, but it can sure roar with trouble and gunfire when some of the boys get on it. Well, right now, we've got a roundup on hand, and that means plenty of hot, dusty work. Well, that takes care of our part of the roundup. From now on, it's up to the Cattlemen's Association to get them to Clay City.
Why we no go with them, Red Ryder?
Well, that ranch is not going to run itself. The Duchess will skin us alive if we don't get back and help that chuck wagon. Come on, I'll race you.
You betch him. Get him up, Captains.
Roll, thunder!
Out here on a hot day?
Same as always. She's looking for Red.
I am not. Well, I guess I am in a way. Red promised to fix my saddle for me, so I got Pat to ride over with me.
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Oh, yes, there is. It's lopsided.
Well, I'm sure when he gets here, he'll give it his very special and personal attention. In the meantime, come on, give me a hand while we're waiting, huh?
Martin, I ain't the worrying kind, but I don't feel easy about the money for this shipment.
Well, this isn't the first shipment of cattle we've sent to Clay City.
Well, I know that, Jim, but it's the biggest. Now, look, I got every cent I've got in the world tied up in them steers. I don't intend to lose any part of it.
Well, as president of the Cattlemen's Association, I'm always open to suggestions. What do you propose?
Put a man we can trust in charge of the drive. Somebody like Red Ryder.
Well, why Ryder?
Because he's a good man. Besides, he and the Duchess own part of this shipment. He'll be taking a special interest in bringing back the payoff.
Wish you boys had thought about all this just a bit sooner. Those cattle are about on their way now with Blake in charge.
Oh, we could get Red to catch up and take over.
Yeah, Jim, with all these holdups going on, we'd all sleep a lot easier.
Well, all right. I'll try to catch Ryder at his camp and see what I can do.
We got him company.
Oh, Lindy's not company.
No, she trapper.
Trapper?
You betch him, for Red Ryder.
Why, she's just a kid. Hi, Frecklenose.
Mr. Ryder, that's not my name any longer. I'm a young lady now, and I demand respect.
Well, I'm pleased to meet you, Your Highness. And what humble service can I offer?
Now, you're embarrassing me. Well, I thought maybe you could fix my saddle for me, so I rode over with Pat.
She don't use him saddle anyhow.
But there really is something wrong with it. I thought maybe if you went riding with me, you could fix it for me.
Now, look, Lindy, I've got a lot of work to do.
I could help, and it'd take half the time.
Now him take him twice as long.
Hello, Red. Duchess? Hi, Martin. You know Pat Collins and Lindy.
Sure. How are you?
Hi.
Mr. Martin.
Ryder, I'd like you to take charge of that cattle shipment of ours.
Cattle are already on the trail. Is there anything wrong?
No, but there might be. At least some of the owners seem to think so, and I'm inclined to agree. You can catch up to them easily enough and then tell Blake that you're in charge.
I think he's right, Red. It's not the cattle I'm worried about, but it's the money that has to be brought back.
Well, all right. I'd like to take Collins with me, though.
Why?
He's reliable. He's a good hand.
Well, I don't follow you, Red.
Well, I've got an idea how we can probably cut the risk down.
But I don't see...
Don't worry, Mr. Martin. Red's got a lot under that 10-gallon hat besides a carrot top.
Okay, then. But you better get going.
Good. Me get him horses.
Hey, wait a minute here. Where are you going?
Play City. You betcha.
Well, there may be trouble.
Good. While you catching trouble, me catching peppermint stick.
Wait a minute. Don't you remember what happened the last time?
Sure. And you also catching tummy ache. It worth it.
Well, guess that knocks your plans as lopsided as that saddle of yours, honey.
That's the last one, Ryder. Satisfied?
Yep. No offense meant, Mr. Nelson, but you got to be awful careful with other people's money, especially newly minted coins like these.
Oh, excuse me, Red.
Yeah.
These are sure heavy. Don't try spending it, Red. Rocks ain't worth much these days. Sea in Devil's Hole.
Right. The Indian kid out there, Red, wants to see you.
Oh, I guess he got tired of waiting for me. He's riding with me. Well, see you next trip, Nelson.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care of yourself.
Knock him on the door right time?
Perfect. Collins got the money and should be on the stage by now.
Good. Now me get him peppermint stick.
Wait a minute. Not until we get back to Devil's Hole. I don't want you riding all the way home with a tummy ache. You better wait right here.
Hello, Martin.
Hello, Ryder.
Sorry I'm late, but some ambitious boys tried to hold me up. You got my wire about Collins bringing the money by stage.
Yes.
Well, where is he?
I was just about to ask you the same question.
What do you mean?
He took the stage from Clay City, all right. I checked that. Arrived here in Devil's Hole and hasn't been seen since.
But I don't understand. I've known Collins a long time. You couldn't ask for a more reliable man.
The association is meeting tonight. You better find him before they get here.
Thank you, sir. Huh. Squaw, always in wet. Here, why you read him so many papers? I don't read them. I sell them for my father who prints them. Here's your peppermint stick. You keep them. Me get 'em more. Are you gonna eat all those? You betcha. But you'll get sick. Me brave Indian. Tummy hard like iron.
Oh, Sheriff.
Hello, Ryder. What brings you to town?
I'm looking for Collins, one of our men. Have you seen him?
Pat Collins? I know him, but I ain't seen him. Anything wrong?
Well, he was carrying about $10,000 in gold from a cattle deal. He should have arrived from Clay City last night.
Man could get mighty round-shouldered carrying that much gold that long. What are you aiming to do?
Just mosey around, look for new faces.
No, there ain't many. The town's so quiet, I can't even get a prisoner to play checkers with.
Now, you do what I said, or I'll let this old iron get good in a lot.
Drop that gun!
Now, what's going on here?
He tried to pay for his drinks with a new coin I ain't seen before. I wouldn't take it. So he starts shooting.
This the coin?
That's it.
Let me see that.
Wait a minute, that's my money.
Just a minute.
Where'd you get this coin?
Right here on these tables. I was gambling here all last night.
It's gold, all right, newly minted. Down if someone ain't bit the date off it.
Where do you hail from?
Down in the Bend country.
You know a man named Collins?
No.
Well, Sheriff, looks like you finally got yourself someone to play checkers with.
I don't play games with gunmen. Come on, you.
Red, have one on the house.
No, thanks, Mac. I don't drink. Here's your money. Say, you know Pat Collins. You seen him around?
Yeah, I know him. I ain't seen him for months. He owes me 6 bits.
Thanks. I'll see you later.
Hey, Mac. What'll you have, Rawhide?
Give me a double shot of that.
Double?
My tummy. Oh.
I guess there must be mice in this barrel. I better shoot them out.
Me no mouse, no shoot 'em.
I had a hunch I'd find you there.
You got a hunch, me got a tummy ache.
Well, I'll just go in the grocery. Old Jabe will have something to cure that.
Red,
Hi, Frecklenose.
Red, I've got to talk to you.
Oh, Lindy, not the saddle again.
No, it's about Pat Collins.
Where is he?
He's hiding at Running Deer's cabin. He's been shot.
Bad?
No, these bandages will take care of him, but he wants to see you right away.
Look,
There may be someone following me. You go on back alone. I'll see you there later.
Hey, Ryder. Is this the way you try to find our money? Standing on the street talking to a pretty girl?
For your information, I finally located Collins.
Oh, that's wonderful. Where is he?
Safe enough, I think. But I'm going to go make sure.
Well, I've got an association meeting at the office. We'll be very happy to see you there with Collins and the money.
You better wait here.
Me no. You want to see Freckle Nose alone.
Hello, Pat.
Red. I knew Lindy'd find you.
What happened?
I ain't quite sure, Red. I boarded the stage at Clay City just like we planned. I carefully watched each passenger as they got in. There was only 3 besides myself, the school teacher, doctor, the fellow who said he was a dealer from Pueblo. Trip was just as quiet and peaceful as you'd want. We pulled into Devil's Hole right on schedule.
Hey, that was a dusty ride. How about a little drink?
No, thanks. I'm in kind of a hurry. Got some important business. And that's the whole story, Red. I knew Running Beard'd take care of me and get a message to you.
Did you see who it was?
Well, I ain't positive, but it looked like...
Did you see who it was?
Missing 2 ways. Could not name man, could not hit with arrow.
Oh, he's dead, Red. He's dead.
Lindy, listen to me. Now, did you tell anybody besides me that Collins was here?
I don't think so.
Lindy, you have to be sure.
I'm sure, Red. I'm positive.
Well, then there's only one answer.
You know who did him?
Yeah. But I gotta prove it.
Now listen, you boys can talk till you're blue in the face, but Red ain't in the habit of lying.
Well, then that makes you and Ryder all the more responsible.
Red, it's a good thing I came to town. I've been hearing some mighty nasty remarks.
Yes, and you may hear a lot more, Duchess.
Well, where's Collins?
He's dead.
What? Who did it?
I wish I knew.
What about the money?
He didn't have it.
Now listen, Ryder. You better get your hands on that money and quick, or else you're going to end up...
Now, just a minute, gentlemen. All of this yelling isn't going to get us anywhere. Red, what do you suggest we do?
Well, I think I know how to get the money. I bid every one of those coins before I left Clay City, and I'm sure I can lay my hands on one of them. You men just sit tight for a while and leave the rest to me.
There's one last thing. I don't want you boys to get rid of any of those gold coins till I tell you.
You're a little late, boss. I already have. Last night in the poker game.
If you don't want to rot in jail for the rest of your life, you better get it back. And fast.
What'll you have, Red? Say, Mac, I'd like to get hold of that coin that caused all the fracas yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Red, but I ain't got it. Jed just talked me out of it for some small change.
Is that so? Who?
Rawhide.
Have any idea where he is now?
Yeah. Right about now, he ought to be pulling on the run to Clay City.
Thanks. Rawhide. Get down off that coach.
Now that you ain't got a gun, I'm going to teach you a lesson. My way.
Red Ryder.
Like you said, Rawhide. Your way. Get up. I haven't even hit you yet. I'm getting closer. And closer. Stop! Stop it, I've had enough. I'll stop when you start talking. Who killed Collins?
I did. But I didn't get the money.
Who did? Martin?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Martin. He hired me to do it.
Don't move. Anybody.
What's going on here?
Sheriff, it looks like you got yourself a couple of checker players.
Well, get me one more and I got a poker game. Come on, you.
Well, that's that. Money's all safe and accounted for. Here's your share, Duchess.
It's about time. Now maybe we can get back to some honest goodness cattle raising.
Your Highness? What's the matter with you?
Saddle. Him lopsided. You fix him?
Why, you...
Get him up, Baptist!
Roll thunder!